Would you say that it's fair to state that you're really only going to have a great experience with women or with a woman if you're a strong masculine guy that knows how to lead, like one of these like top shelf sort of dudes? Or can you have a good experience with women where you partner up with a my equal or a boss girl or whatever, a sass girl? Like, do you think it's possible to have a good experience, like, have a good woman in your life sort of thing?
I mean, you definitely can, right? It's
I mean, I've done
again,
both. So
Yeah.
yeah, you can. It's how you approach it. Like obviously, the more like kind of frame that you're aware of and can hold, the
mhm.
better your end result will be. But that's not to say that again, because I've been fortunate where I've met a lot of really awesome girls when I was still like in my blue pill phase, and it could have gone. I've met a lot of girls that weren't awesome. So even then, at a rudimentary level, I understood the difference between. All right, this girl is actually pretty awesome. It's great to hang out with, even though my ideas and misconceptions are completely off base versus
Mm.
the ones where I'm just like, oh no, this this is not a good experience here. And then
Mm.
once I started getting more and more self-aware and able to start leading and guiding these experiences, suddenly I started like maximizing even more when I had someone that was like a good person that I vibe with.
I think it all boils down to age as well. And we talk a lot about how you're a younger guy in your 20s, maybe you don't have it all together yet, but you're on the path. Like your potential means a lot. So
Yeah.
I mean, just like no, women will be there for you. They'll help you out. They'll support your mission. But again, you're also like you're their lottery ticket or your meal ticket potentially. If they're investing in you at that younger age, you're a lawyer, doctor, medical school, whatever, versus you're 35 and you're just like, oh, I'm going to go back to grad school. And it's like, what are you doing? So, I think that you can get away with it at a younger age, depending on your potential. We talk about this a lot, but if you're getting to the point now where you're older and your runway is starting to run thin, you have far less chance of doing so. Because you're just not going to be in a position where she trusts you to lead. It's like, what have you been doing for the last 17 years since you turned 18?
Yeah.
Your time is up, man. What have you been doing with your life? I'm not going to follow this guy who can't even move himself out of his mom's basement.
They don't have patience for a guy with a plan when he's 40. Doesn't matter how hot he is. I mean, she might engage with him on a short-term basis for some, for some FWB stuff, but they don't have a lot of interest in a guy that's 40 that's hot, with a plan. It's like, if you're 20 and hot with a plan, no problem. All good.
And for younger guys too, I always say, because a lot of them call in like on the after show with Moff and I, and they ask them the same question, like, hey, like I'm like early 20s or late teens, I don't really have much to offer. And I always tell guys at any age really is, you need to craft a personal image one. So like, for example, when I was in my early 20s, I was kind of a goof, but I was like a nerd and I was like seen as like the cute guy, and I was the foreigner who played baseball. So I didn't realize that was my role, but I got girls. Now, I'm in my mid 30s. So there's different considerations. Like I have to be on my game, like in terms of like the status game too, and the money game, and making sure I don't age like a glass of old milk or anything, and more like a fine whiskey or wine. So you have to know what kind of role you play into from like a personal branding standpoint, and then also know what box, like in her compartmentalized mental framework, you fall into. And I like to use the term like a fantasy box. And I learned this concept, guys in the 1% group, like behind the paywall. I've talked about this a lot when I was renting out a spare room in San Diego to like surfers who were trying to like get their reps in and get on the circuit eventually. A lot of those guys got a lot of girls. Like, okay, I'm the young, hot surfer guy. And they knew it. They would tell me, like, bro, I'm a 21-year-old who's going to join the pro surfer circuit in California and San Diego. Like, of course I get laid. And then he's like, what's your image? What are you? I'm like, oh, okay. So I started cultivating. I'm in Mexico. It's like the classical American image, and it works. But you have to find what works for you. That's my advice. Like the younger guys, a lot of guys ask us that question.
I want to in a couple of minutes grab the super chat that's up at the top here, deal with that, and drop the link so guys can start calling in for the Q&A segment off of YouTube. But let's take a few more minutes just to wrap up on some of the ideas. Go ahead, Josh.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, especially for you younger guys, right? It's like, I don't have that much to offer. It's like actually a key thing that you have to offer is the element of fun. I've been the guy that, right, like I'll get girls that, have gone out with like celebrities or guys that, hundreds of millions of dollars or whatever, because, hey, I may not be the richest guy. I may not be the most shredded guy. I may not be the most, tallest guy or whatever. But I could be.
You're the tallest guy for sure, dude.
Yeah, right. I'm right at the cusp, so I barely pass.
But I could be the guy that's the most fun, right? And that's how.
What are you, like 6'6"?
Yep, 6'6".
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Okay.
Dang, like you're almost too tall. Like, do you hit doorways?
You're like
that tall
you're like
yet?
one of the
Or is
few
that
guys
six
that I
seven?
meet that I'm doing this shit. I'm like, I'm 6'2", and I'm like, yo, what's up, Josh?
It's
no,
Rich, it's weird when you meet another man who makes you feel small, because I'm
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
5'11", 200 pounds, usually on the leaner side. But most guys, like when I shake their hand, I'm stronger than them. There's very few guys like Paul, where
no.
you're like, oh, like you feel like a little man. So keep that in mind too. Younger guys, all guys, like if other guys feel small compared to you, then imagine how your girl feels, and you want to make her feel small in the physical sense, which makes her feel secure.
Yeah.
Tidbit.
Closing thoughts, 50 Shades. You know, got anything before we start taking some calls?
No, I think Josh made, some very good points earlier, about, the girls that compliment you. When you finally get to that Ferrari level, you start seeing girls when you start seeing them for what they really are, and you're seeing their feminine qualities, and you get the best out of them. And since joining the group, and in the last year, I've never done so much cutting of the dead weight in my life when it comes to girls. And when I started doing that, I start getting way better results, and I start seeing things in girls that I haven't seen before that I really, really like. And I'm like, wow, this is what a feminine girl looks like. This is what a girl who's into me, treats me nice, and who society hasn't brainwashed into being that I'm the enemy behaves like. And it's actually pretty darn good.
Yeah, it's just as simple as raising your standards, right? You want to have better experiences with women. Make sure you're a better guy and raise your standards so you only deal with better women, right? And there's lots of great women out there, guys. Like, don't believe the hype about how, oh, she's always going to cheat on you and destroy you, and she's always going to cheat with Chad. It's like, yeah, women do that, but
if you screw up.
Yeah, but they also generally don't leave a guy that they wake up every morning and go, that dude's my best option. I have, like, other guys become invisible. Okay, like they don't
That's exactly it. Yeah,
competition when they see you as their best option, right?
It's not like they're out there like guys.
Like a lot of dudes are out there thinking like, women are just out there like, oh, I'm gonna go for him like right now, right? It's like, that's not how they work. That's not what the hypergamy equation is. Like, it's a multifaceted puzzle, right?
If you leave her unfulfilled, she will seek fulfillment elsewhere. But once you give her, what it is that she wants, like the feminine women, then really all they want is your masculine presence, time, and attention. And give it to them once they earn it. And set that standard very clearly on, like, this is the way you are to behave around me, and you will get the best of me if you give me the best of you. And I only accept the best in life. So either you're on board with that or you're not. There's no hard feelings. I don't ever get mad. I don't ever raise my voice. I'm just like, hey, just break it down. This is the way it's going to be. Either you're in or out. Let me know. Door's right there. And since I've taken that attitude, I only had 2 girls walk through the door, and they're like kind of like your lefty, ist and ism types is what I call them on YouTube to get around the they're the isms. And I'm just like, okay, but most girls are like, hell yeah, I want to get the best out of this. I want to get the best of you because you intrigue me, and I want to give you the best of me. And then it's like it's a positive feedback loop, and you both go to places you haven't been before.
Hey guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that short clip. If you did, consider supporting the creation of content by checking out my supplement line. Pinned in the top comment below of this video in the comments, there's a link to the unpluggedalpha.com/shop. When you click through, you'll be able to land over here, and the entire lineup is broken down by category that it performs best in: estrogen metabolism, fat burning, your foundational essentials for health, immune health, performance, and testosterone support. If you check out with coupon code ALPHA10, you'll get 10% off on your first order. There's also the option to use the subscribe and save model, where regular shipments will be sent over to you on a regular basis, and that gives you a little bit of a discount, and your supplement facts are always broken down over here. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have an awesome day. And again, check out that link. It's pinned in the top comment below in this video. Peace out.